Rolling Wheels Raceway leaves a bad taste in my mouth. The last time I was here, things didn't go very well. Ah! So logically, I had to give it another try. My friend Brian let me share his STI for a chance to claim top spot in the Northeastern Division. So we packed up a Subaru convoy of rallyists and headed back to New York. 2 Justys, 1 STI, and a Turbo Legacy. All headed to the double Rallycross event in central New York. I'm competing in the STI, but I'm transporting a Justy. We are on our way to a night SCCA Rallycross. And right now I'm driving a Subaru Justy. It's got mud flaps, it's got snow tires, it's ready to attack any rallycross course we got. I've always wanted a Justy. I've never drove one before, and my friend Mike Julian happened to have 2. So he's like, come on down, if you want to drive these to the event, you can rallycross one if you want. I didn't end up rallycrossing it. I was actually afraid I was going to tip over. A little bit nervous about rolling it because, as you can see, it's a bit tippy, but it was a dream come true to drive this little tiny Subaru that they're just so hard to find. 15 miles from the event, Mike's Turbo Legacy had a cylinder 4 misfire, so we pulled the other Rally Justy off the dolly, and I drove that one the rest of the way since its clutch was a bit challenging for Mike's girlfriend. I expected to only drive the teal Justy, but now I'm driving 2 Justys up to the event for emergency purposes. Decided that I wanted to drive a Justy because I've never driven a Justy before. Now I've driven 2 in the span of 2 hours. This is first generation Justy, carbureted model. It's all rallied out, it's got stickers and shit. Mike races this like literally almost every weekend of the summer. And it shows because, man, does this thing have a rattle to it. It also is stock suspension because that's all he could find so far for this thing. Doesn't find anything that fits. Is that 5th? Oh, there's 5th. Oh, the stick has like a good 4 inches of play back and forth, so I'm just guessing where the gears are. We made it to the event and unloaded the gear. Stock wheels off, gravel wheels on. It was nice to see more people show up to this event than the last time I was here. Even some dudes entered a dually F350. So if you remember in the first series, Walczyks farm was the first rallycross I ever did. And the coolest thing about the farm is it's just this sloped field. And he cuts his own courses out of it. I mean, you could just get going on these things. And it's a maze. It's like a cornfield maze kind of deal for rally cars. And at the same time, you never know what to expect at Walczyks farm because you never know what he's going to cut. He can have fast downhills, he can have sweeping hairpins, and it could be muddy, it could be dry, there could be a little bit of jump, you get a little bit of offset air. It's every rallycrosser's dream place. 2-wheel drives ran first. Then I got ready to jump in the STI. This is no stock STI. It's incredibly weight reduced with the interior completely pulled, including the sound deadening. A stage 2 turbo setup, no restrictor, and DMS Rally coilovers made this car faster and more nimble than most cars entering Rally America. Night fell, and it was finally time to race. So jumping in the STI, man, just power down, 350 horsepower, whatever he had that thing tuned up to. And it's night and day from a 3-cylinder, 50 horsepower front-wheel drive hatch, right? Whoa! This is quite a bit faster than a Justy! Get out of the gate, full 4-wheel spin, lock the diff, and it's a whole different thing. All of a sudden you have to be like, all right, settle yourself a little bit and remember that you're now driving a proper rally car and not just this little squatty little hatchback. Night rallycross works at the farm because of all the high grass. It feels like rallying through a tunnel. You can't see the next corner. So think about being a stage rally and you're in the thickest woods and you can't tell where that corner is going at all. That's exactly what this is. Brian edged me out by a little each run, but I started to crawl back time as the rain got heavier. At the end of the night, I sat in second. I set up my tent, edited some photos, and crossed my fingers that the rain would stop. Waking up, rainy rolling wheels for the second time. I mean, we all crowded around James Quattro, the event organizer, and he was trying to justify not canceling the event. Because when you wake up to a rainy rolling wheels raceway, you know one thing, and it's just slip and slide. There's synthetic dirt. When it gets wet, it's pretty much undrivable. It's a shame because when that surface is dry,
it's supposed to be like pavement, which, I mean, you get a little bit of slide, a little bit of dirt, but you just hook up beautifully. But I've never seen it because every time we've been there, it rains. Finally, it dried enough for them to allow the all-wheel drives to run. I got in the STI and started the second day.
There we go.
From the get-go, it was slippier than the previous night.
Trying to get all the grip I can.
I powered down where I could, using boost merely to create wheel spin with hopes that somehow the car would hook up and get me to the finish faster. I got good speed down the straightaway, maybe a little bit too much speed.
I'll have to take the penalty there. There's third.
Despite the cone penalties, after 2 runs, I was the cleanest and fastest car on the track, crawling back time from Brian's small lead.
Whee!
How'd it go?
55, but I hit 2 cones.
Nice.
What'd you do?
59-2.
Holy shit. What?
By 4 seconds. Very nice.
Yeah, but I got 4 seconds of penalty.
So did I.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's nice. I'm back at ya.
Then the rain started falling harder, and the event was called early. I finished the event in first, and the divisional championship in second, 1 point behind Brian. Two-wheel drives didn't even get to run. They weren't gonna go anywhere. So we all looked at James, and we're like, what can we do? And he's like, well, how do you guys feel about just getting some free laps to rip around the oval? And I'm like, you're kidding me, right? So Mike gets in one Justy, I get in the other Justy, and then we just have a free-for-all.
Ah! I'm coming from driving this up here and then driving an STI all weekend and then getting rained out and then getting to do this. Free laps at a slippery rolling wheels in a car the size of a shoebox. This made it all worth it. Look at this. I got a dually in front of me. Look at him.
I don't know, I did like 25 laps before I caked the entire Justy with mud and it weighed 1,000 more pounds. Basically, this 2-day rallycross was a washout from hour 1, but we invented ways to still have fun. And I'd say rallying Justies around a muddy track with no one holding your hand was definitely one of the best ways to keep that rally spirit alive. And at least this time, I didn't crash into a Ford Ranger.
Rolling Wheels Raceway, you have produced some of the weirdest racing I've ever seen.
Next time, I'm off to the Motor City to rallycross something a bit more expensive than a Justy.